Hello and welcome to the Agripreneur podcast. I am your host, Shenge Michael. Today we'll be discussing a very vital topic affecting our young people in Nigeria. Topic is from political noise to productive agriculture. We have seen that many young people, instead of engaging in agribusinesses, are rather discussing flimsy political issues on the Facebook or on social media. Today with me in the house is an elder who is who has had vast experience in agribusiness, in youth development, Mr. Sam Agwa. Sir, you're welcome to the Agripreneur podcast.
My pleasure. Thank you, Sheng.
All right, sir. And so, sir, quickly, can you tell us a brief about yourself?
I call myself a friend of young people. I have been involved in agriculture for quite a long time. And what most young people are doing today that is not quite helping them economically or to push their livelihood forwards. Some of us also did the same things. So sometimes we feel we owe it a duty to guide them. It's not that they are totally wrong on these issues. So I've been a practicing agri person, doing a lot from direct cultivation to most chains in the agribusiness and that. But basically, most part of the last 2 to 3 years, I've been promoting the palm tree economy in Benue State, and I've also been serving on an elite committee of the governor to transform agriculture in Benue State.
Yes, all right, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, quickly, like I said earlier in my introduction, so many young people spend a lot of hours arguing political discussions online. Now, in your view, what are they really losing? Why are they glued to the system? What is the challenge?
Well, I think quickly, there is something we call habit. Anything you can consistently do for about 2 to 3 weeks forms a habit in you. If I choose now every morning to go hang out at a joint and drink with people, after 2 to 3 weeks, there will be that urge to go again. And because all of us are carrying smartphones and we are in an era of citizen journalism, a situation where everybody can get up, transmit anything, and stay glued on. Sometimes we forget and we stay glued to what we are calling political noises. We're not saying politics is bad or staying on the internet is bad. But when you hang on and you discover that you wake up in a whole day and 10 to 12 of your hours have gone without really, you are just trying to transmit one virus to another. What Shenge said against Sam and what Sam said against Shenge, and at the end of the day, and then if you notice, if you can go back and plot a graph, you will discover that for most people from January to date, they've just been very active. You build that traffic, you build a network of people liking or disliking or fighting you, and at the end of the day, nothing is really happening. No match to livelihood. I think that's what is key, and I want today to try to talk to my young people as their father and as their friend.
It's all right, sir. Some would argue that they are getting paid on Facebook through Facebook monetization.
Yes, there are two issues here. If it is Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, or any of the social channels paying you for whatever content you create and it could generate much money for you, it's a different matter. But if you're talking about payment from the angle of being a political hireling, someone that is being recruited to stay there on the Facebook, trying to push out content, trying to promote some big guy, then there is a problem. Because whatever he may be paying you, because I relate to the young people. Let me surprise you that most of them don't get more than 50,000 naira a month for staying all day, all night, fighting battles and taking bullets for people. That's the point I'm saying. Maybe let me just preempt a bit. The man you are promoting, who has money, who goes to functions, who goes to communities and donate boreholes, he can equally help you start a small vegetable farm. He can equally help you start raising some broiler or some beekeeping or one kind of activity. It may not be a raw activity that you necessarily do. It could even be trading. Because the same Facebook or social media that you are using and transmitting one insult to the other or one negative thing to the other can be used to promote also cyber trading. So even if I don't need to go and find yam or do fish, but I can stay somewhere and try to find where I can buy the fish and sell to somebody and still make a gain. So the point I'm saying is, yes, if social media is giving you good bucks, that you can pay that bill, pay your DSTV, hang out with your friend, or even start going for introduction for those that may want to marry, fine and good. But the trend I have noticed is that it is rather impoverishing most young people because they are not thinking outside it. I'm not detaching them from political conversations. I want them to understand that you can use your 10 hours on the internet, 5, to try to set up or do something that can help you.
It's all right, sir. So why do you think agriculture is one of the best ways they can engage themselves profitably?
Well, fundamentally, agriculture is basically our culture, whether in Nigeria, whether in Benue, whether in anywhere. Because when we're talking agriculture, you that are experts will tell us that it's a whole lot. Whether it is poultry, whether it is cattle you are keeping, whether it's sheep, whether it's rice, or it's agriculture. Now, you have to use what you have a comparative advantage on. You have to use what, for most of these young people, they have spaces they can play with. Let me shock you, even in the cities, some people have plots of lands, 100 by 100, 50 by 100, fenced, nothing happening. You know, you can take permission and start up something there. And most young people, where they live, some wake up every day with vast piece of land at the back of the building that they can start some tomato or some ugu and be watering, whether physically or through some drip arrangements and that. So the point is, agriculture is the easiest takeoff point. If you tell a young man now to go and start selling computers or selling handsets, maybe he may need some hundreds of millions to even start the business. But in agri, you can get up somewhere and plot. Let me give you a simple example. I can go to a local market and see a goat. Maybe the goat is 50,000 naira. Yes. I'm trying to talk what they call veranda here, okay, but in a more neater way. Now, I discovered that someone needs that goat, maybe in Makodi, at 75,000, at 70,000. You know, you have played in the chain, yeah, of agri at the level of mini trading also. So it's not about me pointing opportunities, but as I'm talking, young people can begin to secure, because it has to do with your location. It has to do with that vast network and contacts you have that you can trigger. Because even if it's pepper, you are buying and selling, or you are trying to find a way. And these days, buying and selling is not typically like the market woman. You can do it in the same way you are passing this virus and bacteria and insults on the internet and spending your time arguing about Wike and the neighbor officer Yerima. And it drains you. Since last week, you have been on Wike and Yerima. Since last, and then you will continue. Another thing comes. It is because you have formed that. Try to detach and form a habit around simple things. Let me say what most of my listeners or viewers will not see. Where I'm talking, immediately I got into this building. The young people here, they have some tomato. I guess they water it every morning and evening. They did some small, tiny other crops around in the same environment they are staying. That's the kind of conversation I'm trying to trigger. Because that your village house, that your village mother, start local chicken with her. Just help her with some small half sack of corn, so that early in the morning you can throw it to them and back. Just start somewhere and play. Because if we say go and play industrial or go big, it may take you some time since the jobs are not there. Try to be thinking. And remember, I'm not sitting here to tell you A, B, C, D, go and take this one, go and take this one, go and do this one. I'm provoking a thinking in you, looking at your local circumstances and advantages you can cash in.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I think that's a wonderful explanation of what young people need to be doing, what they need to do to be able to survive in this generation. Well, majorly, we've seen an influx of young people. Some left their villages to come to Makodi or to the cities to gain better employment. So agriculture is not their thing. So what would you think they want? They want to go into agriculture because that's the reason why they even left the village for in the first place.
Well, you are correct, but also not very correct.
Okay.
They left the village because they had no opportunities in the village.
So they
Because let me tell you, agriculture in the village is like slavery.
oh,
It does not attract any young man. That I wake up, I go 7 kilometers or 10 kilometers, and I'm coming back in the evening with some log or wood or some perengi or some bangi on my head or something, and then I come back. It's not attractive. But there is a way. And I don't want this conversation to be at the level of government. Government. I don't want to even discuss and go there. I'm trying to think how, as young people, whether together or singly, you can think of, even in that village, making yourself comfortable. Let me give you a simple example again on what I said earlier. There's nowhere in Benue, there's no family compound you go in Benue that you will see 300 local chicken. People have 10, 15, 20. Is it possible to have 300 local chicken? Yes. Because the infrastructure you will need to do this could be the same touch arrangement where you can find a way that in the night they move in, and then early in the morning you pour them some corn or something, they take some water, you keep some water by the side and that. Imagine you grow the local chicken to a certain level, which will not be so costly for you. You could make money, and that money can help you to step up something. Maybe gradually you could put one solar. Gradually one day one barbing salon can come from this same business of agriculture. The point I'm saying is, living the villages is not that people don't like agriculture or agribusiness. No, it is simply because it seems choked for them. Most of the villages don't even have the internet. There's just a whole lot. And some of them are not fitting in because they are staying with very local colleagues of theirs that were unable to attain this feat they have attained. So the question is, remember, we are not criticizing young people being on the internet or on the social media. We are simply saying, use this time where to think. Form habits around things that look odd. Let me tell you, goat farming, even in the dry season. Anybody that wants to raise goats in the village, even in hundreds, can raise. It's a matter of organizing how you will be moving the goats to where they can chop the grass and bring them back, or cut the grass and bring back. I think what requires is that patience to be able to pull through. Because from experience, I don't want to take your time.
Yes.
I have seen that there's more money in these petty levels of agriculture than Bet Niger. Because you can actually over time grow, and before you know what is happening, you could be that supplier of pigeons or doves. People that drink beer will tell us that doves can enter beer well, meaning when you do some peppering. And now nobody is doing the doves or the pigeon. You could see as a business, but you could do it. You may not need to catch the small birds life into Makodi. You can roast, do everything, we bay in a carton to that woman that has that joint, so that just like people hauling palm wine or other things from the villages to here. So I remember, I don't want to talk about how our local governments and governments have neglected. I want to talk to a young man as if there is no government.
It's all right, sir.
Yes.
So, can we talk about mentorship a little bit? Do you think these young people are doing what they are doing because there's no mentorship? Because in agriculture, who will mentor them? But what they see are politicians making money, and they toy in the farm or under the farm, and they see somebody whom they know very well become a political appointee, and before you know, becomes a big man, builds a house. So don't you think this is one of the things that is pushing these guys into some of this?
Yeah, this is where this conversation this should be the gist of this conversation. Because now we know they need mentorship. So who should mentor them? Where do they go for mentorship? And I think this is why this type of program is helping. Maybe immediately, let me just summarize it by saying, if you are listening to this program, keep connected to the organizers of this program. Feel free to reach them on the social handles. Let's see how you can be connected to your areas of interest. But let me move a bit further. You see, you can choose or grow or get affiliated to a mentor you like. even on the social media. If you look at social media, forget about the lies and some misconception. There's a lot of information on agriculture. Some of it may not be very correct. Some could be fake, some not fake, but you can start